Hey, everybody, welcome into episode 14 of 100 Essential Jazz Standards. And today we're going to look at one of the most classic jazz standards that absolutely everybody should know, Summertime by the great George Gershwin. So, as usual, we are going to dive in, analyze the chord changes, and then I have prepared an etude for you. And hopefully, this will help you if you don't know this tune or you kind of know it, go on your way with a little bit more knowledge under your belt. So all the information on where to find the etudes and everything like that will be down below the video in the description. So make sure you go and check that out if you want to get your hands on the etude in concert, B flat, E flat, and bass clef. And that's also a great way to support the channel. All right, without any further ado, let's dive into the analysis. All right, everybody, let's dive into analyzing the chord changes of Summertime. It is an extremely simple form if you really look at it closely. But we should still go over it just so you know exactly what's going on. So the first thing is it's a 16-bar form, and it's in the key of concert A minor. Now, a couple of caveats before we dive into this. First of all, this tune is played in many different keys. So you won't always hear it called in the key of A minor, but I would say in my experience, it's the most common key that instrumentalists will play it in. So it'd be good to learn it in this key first, and then if, the people you play with play it in a different key. If you really do this process right, it won't be that hard to put into another key. Now, you'll also notice that there's the absence of like an A section and a B section and all that kind of stuff. I just think about this as a 16-bar form. I don't really like to delineate between the different sections of the form because I don't feel it's long enough. And actually, I almost think about this as like a 16-bar modified blues. All right, and we'll talk about why I might think about it that way. Now, the other thing about this tune is that you will hear it played many ways in terms of chords that aren't on this sheet that other people play. A lot of people like to play this in their own way. They have their own twists and turns on it. But I'm just going to present it to you in the most basic way. But just keep in mind that this is my interpretation. And just like you might run across it where people play it in different keys, you may also run across it where people use slightly different chord changes. Okay, so just be aware of that. All right, let's dive in. So we start out with our tonic minor chord, A minor 6. And then we simply just have a 2, 5, back to A minor. Okay, now we see right before bar 5, we see that tonic minor chord turn into a dominant chord. So what's happening here? Well, just like the blues, in the 5th bar, we go to the 4 chord. So what we're doing is we're doing what's called tonicizing the 4 chord by playing the 5 of 4 before we hit that 4 chord. So we're used to this sound, and then all of a sudden hearing this, it should sort of tell our ears, hey, we're getting ready to go somewhere else. And then we drop into that 4 chord, and we hear it. Okay, that's where it was going, and that's a very satisfying feeling. So if I start in bar 3, then we drop into the 4 chord for 2 bars, and then we're simply going 2, 5, back to our tonic chord, and then we have 2, 5 again, back to our tonic chord. And then notice the red on the Roman numerals. This is the only part of the tune where I actually consider there to be a modulation. What we're doing is we're going 2, 5 to the relative major of C major. And this move is just so strong, and I think it's like the most interesting part of the entire tune, that we are going to consider it a modulation. But it's a modulation that really makes sense, right? Because we're going to the relative major. And then we simply come back to the tonic by way of a 2-5. 2, 5, 1. And then we play another 2-5 to get us back into the top. All right? That's it. Very simple, right? So you could think about it like the blues, where it goes to the 4 chord in the 5th bar. And then the only thing that you have to kind of remember is that at this point, we play that modulation into the relative major, right? So let's hear the whole form. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And I'm sure this one, you really, really can hear that melody. I bet you were humming it to yourself while I was playing through that. Okay. So a very, very simple form, not too much going on, makes it pretty easy to memorize, which is great, and makes it really easy to put it in one of those other keys that you will inevitably run across in your time as a jazz musician. All right, let's check out the etude. Okay, everybody, so I hope you enjoyed that episode. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them below the video, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.